Boy, you know you make me float. Boy, you really get me high. Ooh, boy, you make me float. That's you.
Hi friends, what's up? We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kandron.
What's good? It is Dehjai. How y'all doing?
What's up? So, our beauty details and drinks are in the description box, per usual. If you like our content, you like these funner videos. I think we're gonna do a fun video today. Yes,
Potentially.
potentially. We're gonna see. We're talking life today, so if you're interested in those kind of videos, go ahead and like and subscribe in advance. Let's get to it.
As Kenton said, we are talking life today. So as we close out this second year of a panorama, I found these questions from a author whose book that I have, which is Nedra Tawwab. She posted this a couple of weeks ago of 10 questions to process before you wrap up your 2021. And I thought that Ken and I could talk through them for y'all. And then, of course, we want to answer some of the questions too. So get down in the comments and join us in a conversation.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Wrapping up your 2021, the first question here is, what did 2021 teach me / you about yourself / myself?
Oof. Why don't you go first?
Rude. Okay, so I would say that it taught me that to choose myself, because this year I had a stroke scare, and in going through that experience and being on the other side of it 9 months later, I feel like what I learned was, or what I'm not even that I learned it, but what I'm taking away, because I already learned this, right? What I'm taking away is to take action on the things that I've learned. And what I mean by that is, like, I knew a year ago that it was time to move on from my current role. And I didn't really start to do anything because a year ago we were in the height of a, panorama. And then I found something to hold on to keep me in that space, which is a thing that I do. I find something to latch onto to help me ride the wave of something I don't like. And that is not what I learned, I guess, is that is not beneficial to me.
Yeah.
When it's time to move on or to make a decision, I need to just make it, as opposed to prolonging the inevitable, because horrible things happen. So, yeah. What about you?
I think 2021 taught me that I am a lot more resilient than I gave myself credit for. In that, like, I found both resilient and creative, because I think I found new ways even to do the old things that I had been doing. So for instance, like my consignment business or whatever, like I've found new ways and have been experimenting with new ways to make that better, or even with creating content here, like I'm finding new ways to be creative and to like have sparks where I thought that they were dead. So that's what 2021 has taught me so far.
I like it. All right, number 2. Who showed up for you / me, and how can you or I nurture those relationships?
Okay. Interesting. Who showed up for me? I don't think I had any unusual suspects sort of show up for me. I think it was my core group. And yeah, I think it was really my core group. We all kind of rallied and showed up for each other in new ways this year. And yeah, I definitely, everybody didn't show up in my extended circle. And that was fine. I don't know if I expected them to, but yeah, I think my core group really showed up, and we showed up for each other. So I think all is well in those relationships.
Yeah. So when I see this, I automatically go to who didn't show up. Because like you, like the core relationships, you know, like those people still kind of, you know, represented, and kind of made space for the crazy experience that I had in the middle of the year. But who didn't show up was a shock for me.
Really?
And yeah. And
were they people that you expected to show up?
Yes, because they told me they would.
Okay, gotcha.
And it was hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
And it was extended hurt in November around Thanksgiving. Because of like all that I was doing for that person, and to know that this was not done for me this year.
Fair.
And I had a near-death experience.
Valid. Yeah, I don't think for the people who didn't show up for me, I hadn't expected them to. So, you know,
I don't have expectations. I don't have expectations of people that at this stage in my life that aren't expressed, with the exception of certain folks, because it was expressed to me that they would always show up.
Gotcha. No, I think that's fair.
And so I'm a believer of what you say to me. And if this is what's been said to me repeatedly throughout my existence, when it doesn't happen, that's fucked up. It's jarring. You know what I mean? So like, I am likely still going to be processing that into 2022. So that's all we're going to say about that.
I mean, that's fair.
What do you think, or what do you need to accept about yourself and the other people in your life? Followed up goddamn question. Okay.
Yikes.
What do I need to accept is that I cannot take them at their word, because it doesn't mean anything.
So can you repeat the question?
Lord, what do you need to accept about yourself and the other people in your life?
Okay.
So like, piggybacking off of the commentary I just made, like I am it. There is nobody else. So if I fall apart, I have to put myself back together. All I have is me, myself, and I.
Yes, come on, Beyonce.
Like,
the best Beyonce song of all times, by the way.
Well, I got to the end. That's what I found out. Damn right, that's what I found out.
Yes.
So yeah, like I recognize that, you know, like there is love there, obviously, but the capability is missing.
Yeah.
Even though they believe that they are capable, they have shown me that they are not, and that what they said about their capability don't mean shit. And what I also have accepted about myself is that my self reliance and resilience and all the things that mean like taking care of yourself are in place since childhood, because this existed then. I just didn't know it. Which makes it so difficult for anybody to be present for Dehjai, because I don't need you.
Yeah.
And that sounds crazy, because I do, but I don't know how to let you be here. And most times they don't know either. Like I recognize now that like I've not known how to let people be here. Okay, check. But when people have tried, like it's more of a nuisance than it is a help. So it's like it.
Yeah. I think what I've accepted about myself this year is I think I've just accepted my whole self, and like this is, and just being more unapologetic, I guess. Like,
Oh, you was already there. What you mean?
I mean, I was, but life.
The person I know would be like, fuck it.
I mean, yes, but also life. So, just being like, listen, this is what I am willing to compromise on. This is what I'm not willing to compromise on. And really like setting my lines and not feeling sorry about it.
Right.
And not moving them, and not just being like, listen, like this is what I am. So it's up to you what you decide to do with that. And I'm fine with it. However you decide to manage that.
Okay. I'm knocking the lights. Oops.
This is who I am. And I think I was a lot better at that younger, but I'm getting back to that now where I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to do.
Not this face. I can't with you. Okay.
I am who I am.
Number 4, how did you cope with uncomfortable feelings?
I started journaling this year. It was a weird thing for me. I've always journaled if I had like a story to tell, or if something like major was happening in my life. So there are major moments journaled somewhere.
She got a sexcapade book, y'all.
No, not a sexcapade. Don't do that. But
Kidding.
There are major life moments documented in in journals or whatever. But for the most part, I never did it as like an emotional exercise, and I think that has helped me cope. And I don't do it every day. It's sort of without sounding like a weirdo to the audience, not to you, it's sort of a like when I need to process something, or like whenever the journal calls out to me. The journal has called out to me a lot more this year than it has in previous years. So in conjunction with therapy, I think journaling has helped me to cope a lot, because also I'm a person who doesn't process feelings initially. Like I usually feel things in my body first, and then it works its way up to my head. So sometimes, I was talking to my therapist about this the other day, like sometimes
come on, therapy. We said that. Drink every time you hear therapist or therapy.
You'll be drunk. But I was processing this the other day of like, sometimes when things offend me or bother me, I feel it in my body first before I can figure out what it is. Or like I have to reflect a little bit. Like it can take me 24 to 48 hours, business hours, to decide why that made me feel a way. But I know immediately in my body. So I think
that's with your body.
Yeah, I think that moment of like, okay, I need to process this in a way that, I'm writing it out, I'm connecting the dots, I'm making the connections. So like, honestly, a lot of times in therapy, my therapist is just like, and it's like, I'm just regurgitating to her what, I felt or whatever. And she's, pointing things out, but I definitely, have relied a lot more and coped a lot more through my journal this year, for sure.
So how did I cope with my uncomfortable feelings? I don't know that I've ever had an issue coping with uncomfortable feelings. I think that because back to the self-reliant and self-resilient, like check, got it. Very introspective, as my therapist has stated to me. So like that ain't nothing new for me. I think the new that came was saying to the people, okay, so this is how I'm feeling because you said or did X, Y, and Z, and being comfortable with not necessarily getting the reaction that I may have hoped for in expressing said uncomfortable feelings. Right. I think that's the difference for me. How can you be better, how can you better manage your reaction to your feelings? I don't know. I don't think that I need to do, I don't think I need to change it. I think that the change happened 2 years ago. And so like how I handle and express is totally different than it was, well, more than 2 years, 3 years ago. Totally different experience.
Yeah. I think for me, I definitely have changed a lot about how I react to things, but I think I could do a better job with saying something earlier, sooner. Just because like I said, sometimes there's a distance for me between when I feel something versus when I have it in my head. And then sometimes that distance can make it feel like, well, now it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Or like, how do I even bring this up now? So I think I should still bring it up and I should still say the thing. And I think that's what I could do better.
All right, number 6. In what ways will you take better care of yourself in 2022?
This goes back to our luxuries list. I'm going to hire people to help me.
I'm not mad at that.
So that I can rest. And also I can use my my brain power for things that actually matter and not doing admin all day long on my stuff, my businesses and ventures and things.
Yeah, I think for me, taking better care of myself is acknowledging the things that work in my life, or not even acknowledging. I did that already, but now taking action on how to change what isn't working, as opposed to just living in the discomfort like I've done for previous years.
I like it.
Number 7, what has been a barrier to you completing your goals? And how will you remove that barrier in 2022?
Barrier?
Yeah, I don't know that I have an answer for that one. I might have to skip pass.
I think that the answer is, for me anyways, is the same as the last one. The barrier has been time, and the way I'm going to remedy that is to hire people so I can buy back some more of my own time.
Mine would be time also, and remedying that would be acquiring roles that allow me back more of my own personal time. What limiting beliefs do you have that need to be released?
I've already been working on this one. I don't want to say that out loud. No, it's not a bad thing. It's just something that's sort of it's a very personal, private exercise that I've been doing. So I want to leave that between me and God. I've been working on that.
I still want you to tell me offline because I'm new.
I'll tell you. But no, I've been working on, you said it's the limiting beliefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I'm a Virgo, earth, concrete. I'm very down on the ground. And even though I have dreams, I'm always there trying to figure out how to make more money so that I can get to my dreams, or try to figure out how in my ability to do things to get more, or to be able to stretch myself further. And I think that's a limiting belief, especially as someone who professes to have faith and believe in manifestation and all of those things. I believe that always having such a concrete view of the world is limiting. And so I am opening myself up to manifesting things that are outside of my ability. Well, that's what I would say.
Y'all need to write that down. I need to be like a little thing you put on your wall.
So that's what I'm working on.
My limiting belief is that it goes back to the self-reliance and resiliency thing, that I have to do everything myself.
Yeah.
And that if I don't do it, it won't get done, or if I don't go after it, it won't happen. And getting back to, like I said in a previous conversation, getting back to my spiritual practices and grounding myself in the ways in which I used to, that allowed things to just flow in naturally. And that basically most aligned with my home frequency of self, which is like joy, peace, and ease. Mm-hmm. Like when I am happy, when I am relaxed, when I am at ease, everything flows in, because that's the vibration. Like it's like God and the universe have conspired to meet the vibration that I have. When I'm the opposite of that, everything is hard and slow and difficult. And I have been evidently in that place for a very long time, which I am trying to get out of there. Mm-hmm. So that was number 8. Number 9, what do you need to practice doing more or less of? Eating when I am not hungry. I need to practice not doing that.
Wait, say that
again? Excuse me. That literally was the first thing that popped into my mind. So the question is, what do you need to practice doing more or less of? And for me, the less of is like eating when I'm not hungry.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Like I will be good all day long. I'll have like all my healthy meals and my breakfast and my regular stuff. And I don't eat unhealthy stuff. But then at like 9-10 o'clock at night before I go to bed, I just start binging on fruit and cheese. If that's what I have in here, that's what the last time I did this. I was in there. I was just like, I made a mini charcuterie board for myself. And I was just standing in the kitchen.
We'll never hear that word and not think charcuterie. Ever in life. But go ahead.
You have to tell us why in a minute. But okay, so but yeah, like I had like an unconventional charcuterie board in my kitchen, and I was just standing there, and I didn't have a lot of things. I didn't like have a full board. It was like maybe a few pieces of this and a few pieces of that, but it was like, girl, you're not even hungry. Why are you eating these things? Like what's happening? But it's anxiety.
Gotcha. No, charcuterie is like
that is so crazy.
It's a Twitter thing, but now I'm noticing people are actually like saying it in the normal, lexicon or whatever. And I just think it is hilarious.
Boy, girl.
I think it is absolutely hilarious. What was the question again? I'm sorry. I got distracted. What was the question?
Pull yourself together. Okay. What do you need to practice doing more or less of? I chose the latter, which is less.
Oh, okay. I think for me, I need to practice. I need to stop beating myself up. I need to really stop doing that, especially for things that I had like literally no control over, or literally like thinking about what would have happened if I had done blah, 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 blah. But at that time I had no, for instance, like, oh, I should have bought a property when, and I'm like, girl, you had no money. Like, how are you going to do that? And why are you beating yourself up for that? In 2021, you had no money in 2010. Like, that doesn't make sense. That makes literally zero sense.
But the girls are saying, this is not for you to be beating yourself up, but the girls up here are saying that you can get a property with no money, especially as a first-time home buyer. They're like,
yes,
do all of the things. Maybe that's a conversation we can have another day. But like,
yes, but long story short, I worked in a bankruptcy and foreclosure firm right before I went to law school. And it was right before the housing crisis. Mm-hmm. And I was literally in real time watching people lose their homes because they had gotten into these predatory lending situations with no money down, with these crazy interest rates or these variable interest rates and stuff. So I'm like when somebody tells me no money down, I'm kind of like, Are you sure? I don't know if I believe in that.
I have to say, are you sure?
Are you sure? I'm not sure that I believe. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like, nah, I feel like I got to have a little bit of something. Anyways, that's something I don't have a time capsule to go back to those times. And I feel like for me, I beat myself up a lot about the past and decisions that things I should have done differently when I had no experience. I didn't have money. I had nothing. So how were you planning to do something different?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even if you knew now, if you knew then what you know now, I still would have not been able to. Like it's just stupid. So I need to let myself off the hook for those things. And that is part of one of my exercises that I do sometimes. So
okay. All right, let's hit this last one. So number 10 is, what one boundary do you need to implement to improve your peace in 2022? Mine is explaining myself for no damn reason, or explaining myself in general.
One boundary. I think I can go along with that one too. I think, yeah, maybe I think that's a good one. Explaining myself. But I will piggyback and say, like, one thing I need to do better is not letting things rile me up. I was finding myself, especially because my manager is exhausting and like just things in life are exhausting. And I'm just like, I need to learn how to be like, is this exhausting enough for me to do something about it? Or is it just on my nerves? Yeah. And if it's on my nerves, then maybe I just need to take a deep breath and move on. And if it's on my nerves enough, maybe I should go have a shot and move on. But
I'll be having that conversation every day when I be at my office. Okay.
Right. But like, maybe I don't need to call somebody and vent about it every time to like give it more energy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I don't do that part. I just be like, it's always, I got to get the out of here.
Well, yes, there's a lot of that, but like, you know, really quick backstory. Like, for instance, at work, my manager was out on maternity leave for half the year and the first half of the year. So we learned very quickly how good it could be. And when she came back, it is like a whirlwind. And I am just like, no. And so I found myself like venting to my teammates quite a bit. And I've kind of in the last couple weeks, I'm kind of like, take a deep breath and just do the thing. You don't have to say anything. You don't need to respond. Just take a deep breath and do the thing. And if it's something that I feel like I need to say, you know, take a deep breath and say it with some form of kindness, or with, you know, take the snip out. You know, it don't have to be
better than me because you're gonna catch the snip. I don't give a
Yes, but also sometimes it's not super productive.
It ain't.
And then like, also
sometimes the thing that I have noticed is because of my personality, they can't tell if it's snip or not. So I get away.
You're fortunate in that regard, because when it's snip with me, you know it.
Yes.
I don't have any problems about that. So yeah, I think I need to.
I'm giving you a 90s hairdo with this pushback. This is weird. Okay.
Yeah. So
whatever. We're done. That's the end of the questions. Get down in the comments. Let us know which ones, you know, resonated with you. Answer one or two. And until next time, follow us on all the socials, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Peace out, y'all.
Boy, really can be high.